I'm at the airport and I'm ready to fly. I'm in Sydney, Australia, and I'm about to fly to Vancouver in Canada. Now, from Sydney, there are a couple of direct options, direct flights through to Vancouver with Qantas and Air Canada. But I'm taking the cheaper option and the long way around. I'm flying with ANA via Tokyo. The reason for that is it's a lot cheaper. I'm saving thousands of dollars. I'll explain exactly how much I'm saving a little bit later on in this video. But is the money saving worth the extra time? Well, join me and let's find out together. It is ANA's business class, so I've heard it's pretty good. So I'm expecting a good flight. Join me, let's do it together. Let's go to Canada. After going through immigration and security, I headed straight to my gate to see today's ride come in, an 8-year-old Boeing 787-9. I then headed to the lounge. ANA uses its Star Alliance partner Air New Zealand's lounge here in Sydney. It's an excellent lounge that I've filmed before, so today I thought I'd check out the Amex lounge instead, which I have access to due to my credit card. It's a very nice lounge with a close-up ground level view of the plane parked outside, in this case a China Southern A330. There's an open kitchen with some good food offerings, but for me the best bit was the coffee. This is probably one of the best double espressos I've had anywhere. Whilst I was doing some work in the lounge, I received an email from ANA with a Wi-Fi code for today's flight. This is sent to all business class passengers. And it's time to fly. Let's go to Canada. See you later. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. Welcome aboard ANA through to Tokyo, Haneda. Cheers. Here's to one sensational flight. Not sure about the plastic cups though. Ground crew waving off aircraft is very common in Japan. I suspect the Japanese carriers also include a special wave clause in their contracts with ground handlers overseas. Either way, it was nice to be given a wave off. We got a good view of a Cathay 747 freighter as we turned onto the runway. These really are stunning looking aircraft. Today's first flight would take us pretty much directly north to Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Flight time would be 9 hours and 20 minutes. Now that we're up in the air, let's have a good look at this ANA business class cabin. It's laid out in a 1-to-1 configuration, giving every passenger direct aisle access. All seats are the same. You're either close to the aisle or away from it. This does mean that there's no way for couples to sit super close and cuddle up. I had one of the window seats. These are more private, but you can't get out of them with the tray table deployed. I found the seats themselves very comfortable to sit in. They offer excellent support. Next to you is a console area, and this is where you'll find all the technical bits such as plugs for power, headphones and USB, as well as a light and the entertainment remote. Below this is your seat control panel. The thing you'll notice here is that whilst there is room to spread out, there's no actual storage space that you can pack anything away. The tray table is strong and sturdy, making it a perfect work surface. In front of you there's ample legroom and a space to store your pillow, blanket and mattress. I'll show you the entertainment system and the seat and bed mode later in the video. After takeoff we hit some turbulence, so the drink service was delayed a bit. Eventually the crew combined it with the start of the lunch service. My sparkling cloud juice coming with an mousse of caprice and chicken and pistachio terrine, which was excellent. Here's a look at the menu for today's flight. Feel free to pause or skip ahead. I went with the Japanese option for two reasons. One, I'm flying a Japanese airline, so I assume they know what they're doing. And secondly, I love Japanese food. You'll have to refer back to the menu to see what everything was, but all I can say is it was delicious. It was a great combination of flavours and textures. The presentation too was first class, and certainly a lot better than the plastic cups used for the boarding drinks. For dessert, I skipped the hazelnut mousse and wanted to go with a cheese platter, but sadly they'd run out. The fruit was okay, but compared to the rest of the meal, it was a bit dull. During lunch I watched a movie, so let me show you the entertainment system. Whilst I enjoyed the movie, I was not really impressed with the ANA entertainment system. The issue was not the screen, which was large and bright. Rather, it was the user interface, which was very cumbersome and confusing. You see that right. There were 219 Western movies on offer, but to scroll through them using the touchscreen, you'd need to press 219 times. And they're not in alphabetical order either. Instead, the order seems completely random. You can scroll faster using the remote, but it's so sensitive that you often select something without wanting to. An overabundance of choice in the movies is counterbalanced with a lack of choice of the audio and video sections. The promise of live TV news was a false one. Luckily, the Wi-Fi did work, and it worked well. The code I received earlier did the trick, and it was free to use for business class passengers. As usual, I looked up my flight on Flight Radar 24 and checked my Instagram. I also managed to keep up with all my work emails, which was good. The real entertainment though was outside, with some lovely views of the Queensland outback and then the Great Barrier Reef. After lunch, the crew auto-dimmed the windows of the entire cabin. I'm not a great fan of this, and I know my good friend and fellow YouTuber Paul Stewart really dislikes these windows with a passion. Luckily, they did not switch off the individual control, so I was able to brighten my window and catch a glimpse of the Papua New Guinea highlands and some pretty nice cloud formations later on in the flight. ANA provides a seatload of comfort items when you board. This includes an amenities kit and slippers. However, the kit's a strange one. It contained 2 tubes of potion and a shopping bag. Not sure what good that is on a flight. And welcome to the loot review. The only reason we're doing this loot review is that amenities kit was really sparse, so I'm assuming that there's some more in here. Let's tackle that straight away. Mouthwash and toothbrushes, and that's about it. There is a sign here. They've obviously had issues with temporary landings in the past when people haven't been doing the right thing. No smoking, place to leave your phone, another mirror here, handle for those who need to brace or strain. This is an interesting one. You can actually open the door using your elbow, which means that you keep your hands nice and clean. Toilet there, and of course, being a Japanese company, ANA has the bidet function on the toilets as well. Look at that. So that was a little review. There we go. I did then discover another stash of amenities were available in the galley, next to the snacks. I spent the rest of the flight getting started on this video. As you can see, these seats are great if you want to work and need to spread out all your stuff. Before landing, a second lighter meal was served. This time I went with the Western option, lasagna. It was tasty. Soon it was time to prepare for our arrival. Unfortunately, none of my landing footage recorded.
We hope you enjoyed the flight with us today and have a pleasant journey to your final destination.
That's the first flight done. It was a good flight. Got some work done, which was nice. That's it. We're in Japan.
We are about to reach the arrivals lobby. Please do not forget your belongings.
So I have just come off that bus, walked through here, and now onto this bus, the Terminal 3. My flight obviously arrived at a remote gate. That was closest to Terminal 2. Now some international flights depart from Terminal 3 here. So I was dropped off straight back onto another bus, which is going to take me through to Terminal 3 where my flight to Vancouver will depart. Well, I've got a few minutes. Let me tell you how much I paid for this trip. All up, it was 6,811 Australian dollars. Other airlines flying direct at the same time, so we're talking Qantas and Air Canada, we're each charging between $11,000 and $12,000. So it's a significant savings to fly via ANA and via Tokyo. Now, on the connection on the way over, it's an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, something like that. So really, really quick. I may not even have time now with all this remote gate stuff to go into the lounge before I jump on my next flight, which will also be about 9 hours. The kicker though is on the way back. The way the flight timings work, I've got an 11.5-hour layover here in Haneda, which isn't actually all bad because it's about 11-hour flight from Chicago to Haneda. I get here at 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night, and I leave at 8:30 the next morning, which means I booked a hotel. Tokyo and Sydney is in pretty much the same time zone. There's about an hour difference. So hopefully that should actually reduce my jet lag on the way home. That said, obviously it is a much longer journey than if I was flying direct. Let me know in the comments if you'd consider doing this, flying via Asia to get from Australia into North America. It's a long way to go, but as I've shown here, you can save you a lot of money.
I made it to the gate 10 minutes before boarding, so just enough time to buy some of my favourite Japanese chocolate. This stuff is brilliant.
Hello. Some bubbles, please. Thank you.
Here we go again. Cheers. It's a great flight. With favourable winds, tonight's flight from Tokyo to Vancouver would take just 8 hours and 10 minutes. This aircraft was an identical Boeing 787-9 to my earlier flight, so all aspects of the cabin and seat were the same. Before dinner, and whilst the cabin is still lit up, let me show you the seat in bed mode. ANA provides this mattress topper. I used it to iron out the bump caused by the fold in the seat. Overall, these beds were quite comfortable, with good length and a good amount of width around the shoulders. Certainly a lot better than the Emirates A350 I flew recently. If you haven't seen that review, I'll put the link in the description below. The foot space too was very good, as demonstrated here with my slippers on, so you can actually see it. Again, the drink service led straight into the main meal. This time I couldn't resist the very special Suntory whiskey that ANA was featuring on this flight.
Suntory blended whiskey. 5 different Suntory whiskies from 5 of their regions and distilleries around the world. That's unique. That is lovely. It's really nice.
For dinner, I again went with the Japanese option. This one had a stronger seafood theme to the first course. Again, the flavours and the variety of the tastes and textures was stunning, even if some of the time I had no idea what I was actually eating. The second course was equally good and featured some delicious braised beef.
You know what? I'm going to have the fruit, please. Yeah, thank you. It's been a long day.
By now the sun was already starting to come up, but I'd hit the wall and needed sleep. I slept for about 3 hours. When I awoke, I ordered a cup of Earl Grey tea with a slice of lemon. Still too full from dinner, I didn't have the breakfast, but here's what was on offer. I'd received another Wi-Fi code for this flight, and again it worked well. I used it to listen to music via Spotify whilst answering birthday messages. I was already a year older in Australia, but as we'd just flown over the international date line and gone back in time, I was still relatively young here. Eventually we got our first glimpses of Canada between the clouds, and soon started our descent into Vancouver. Overall, I've been pretty impressed with ANA. All being well, on the way home I'll be flying their new The Room business class, which apparently is a few steps up from this. I'll be filming a review, so that's probably a good reason to hit that subscribe button and notification bell.
That was a really good flight. Finally made it all the way through to Vancouver. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do Canada. And that was ANA. We've arrived safely. The bags have arrived safely as well here in Vancouver. All up about a 22-hour journey airport to airport. About 4 hours longer, or 5 hours longer I suppose, than flying direct. The ANA service I thought was really good. I enjoyed them. They're a good mid-tier airline, I'd say. Up there with Qantas, they do some things really, really well, and some things that they could probably do a little bit better. Now, the extra travel time, was that worth the savings, in this case several $1,000s? I think so, but what do you think? Would you travel via Asia to get to North America, or would you prefer the direct, more expensive links? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and also do check out my channel where there's a whole load of other flight reviews and a lot more exciting stuff happening in the coming months and years. If you haven't subscribed and that's your thing, please do hit that subscribe button and notification bell. It means a lot. Thanks again for watching, and as always, happy travels.